This is the Asus Prime A320I-K. It's an ITX motherboard, and it's the same one I used in the XPC 360 project. Just going to be walking through some of the features it's got, because I think this board's actually pretty cool. It's got quite a lot for a budget board. I paid £99 for this one. So let's crack in. So box is standard branding for Asus. So open it up, I've got the motherboard. In its nice anti-static packet. Other parts in the box, we've got the standard books, warranties, screws for the M.2 SSDs and a backing plate. There's also a driver's disc in there, but you can get the drivers from online anyway. They also supply a couple of extra Sata cables for your hard drives. But let's take a look at the board itself. So I chose this board for the XPC project because of its size. It's a tiny little board, measuring at 17 centimeters by 17 centimeters. It's got pretty much the standard features that you'd find on any motherboard. So you've got your DDR slots, you've got 4 SATA ports, your 24 pin power. It's also got an 8-pin power for your CPU. It's got an M.2 SSD plug on the top of the board with a heatsink, which looks pretty cool, and a PCI Express slot. On the back you've got an array of USBs, quite a few actually, so USB 3s, USB 2s. It also has HDMI and also a digital display port and sound on board. The one thing that this is missing is Wi-Fi. So a lot of the other boards have Wi-Fi, but they are much more expensive, and for the price it's not too bad. One of the things that really stood out for me on this board was the amount of ports you get for internal fans. So we actually have 2 chassis fan headers and we have 2 CPU headers, which is quite cool because a lot of the boards on this budget range anyway tend to only come with one of each. It also has 2 RGB connections directly on the motherboard, which actually makes it a really useful board. It's an AM4 and it will support up to the Ryzen 3000 series, which again was a great selling point for this board because it means it's pretty reasonably future-proof at the moment until the 4000 comes out. You obviously won't get any overclocking off this one, or not much overclocking off this one because of the chipset being the 320, but generally for any small lightweight project, any small tiny builds that you want to do, it's a great ITX board for doing that.